As far as the future goes, as the organization comes out of COVID and, we see cruise restart and, different business lines start to really, kick back in. I see, particularly in cruise, I think the major initiative that we've been focused on there is related to parking. And we're introducing a new solution at Cruise Terminal 3, which is e-pass parking, so that our customers, when they drive into the garage, and instead of paying for their parking with a credit card, they'll be able to just drive up and use their e-pass or their SunPass transponder to pay for their parking. So it's a contactless payment option. I think that's going to, it's a customer service item. It really helps our customers, not have to, fumble for a credit card. They're just able to drive right up and the gate opens for them and their payment's made, and they're thinking about what they should be, their cruise. Within the terminals, I know our cruise partners are going to accelerate the contactless options that they have for embarkation and checking passengers in. That had already started pre-COVID, but I think you're going to really see that accelerated. It's going to become the norm. And same, as they return, facial recognition for clearing U.S. Customs was already starting to become the norm. That's going to be the norm. You're not going to be spending a lot of time waiting to be cleared.
Our team has been working diligently with our cruise line partners almost daily in terms of vessel scheduling for 23, 24, and beyond. Our discussions include things like new ships, new itineraries, new cruise lines, new terminal renovations, and even new terminals. So I can confidently say that the future is bright for cruising at Port Canaveral.
We were recently awarded a grant from the U.S. Department of Transportation to rehabilitate North Cargo Berth 3, which has been considered functionally obsolete. This reconstruction will help our current cargo tenants, Lehigh Cement and Morton Salt, as well as future business opportunities for new cargo customers at Port Canaveral.
I've been at Port Canaveral since late 2014, and even early on in my presence here at the port, I noted that North Cargo Berth 3 and its sister Project 4 were in need of repair. And I'm very enthusiastic about we have finally reached that point, working in concert with the federal government for that Port Infrastructure Development Program grant, $14.1 million, and the state of Florida, another $14.1 million grant from FDOT. Along with our own matching funds, we will be able to accomplish that berth in FY22. It is an 880-foot-long berth that we're going to reconstruct with a relieving platform. It will open up the channel width in that area across the harbor from Cruise Terminal 1. We'll gain an additional 75 to 80 feet of vessel beam. We'll have the ability to accommodate up to a 131-foot wide vessel at that berth, which again is just going to augment and support our cargo portfolio here at Port Canaveral. There's lots to talk about on the North Cargo Berth 8 project. First off, it's a heavy lift berth, so it's our only berth here in Port Canaveral that will support that 2,000 pounds per square foot. It will accommodate the mobile harbor crane being driven over to that berth for service. It has 4 basic components. The original bulkhead was constructed by Orion Marine for about $19 million. We did Uplands paving for $4.5 million, this pier extension for $5.5 million, and that's the first 120 foot. We have a 4th component, which is another 180-foot pier extension that's currently on hold. We hope to bring that back in the near future, and we've had state of Florida support on all of those projects as far as grant funding, and it has culminated in a very usable, multi-user berth facility that really augments Port Canaveral's cargo portfolio. We're very excited about it. I was over at North Cargo Berth 8 earlier today and witnessed it's currently being used by commercial space entities. So not only does it have a length overall of 900 feet, it can also fit several of the smaller vessels that are currently retrieving boosters, capturing cone fairings, and other crew support vessels as well. And it gets used regularly by the commercial space industry. Terminal 8 renovation project is just that. It's a renovation of an existing terminal. This terminal was originally built in 1998, so it's over 20 years old. And these renovation projects are notoriously challenging. We have to make the new fit the old. We are constantly discovering items in walls or unforeseen conditions that we didn't know were there. And so that's been a challenge for the project. But the contractors have done a great job of overcoming them. And let me also mention the designers. We have a team of designers on this project that have really guided the design well over the past several months. We started this project in early 2020, and the contractor has made substantial progress. What you see behind me is a new POV drop-off lane, and the canopy is being built to match the existing drop-off canopy that was built over a decade ago. So it's this interesting mix of making the new match the old, and the contractor really is doing a fantastic job. Early on in the project, we did have to make some changes to the overall program. We put our heads together internally with our finance team. We also reached out to Disney Cruise Line. The project started with a $47 million budget. We had to find a way to carve out in the interim and defer approximately $11 million worth of work. So we currently sit at about a $36 million budget. That $11 million worth of work that we deferred could be brought back at some point in the future. The components that we deferred were an exterior luggage screening hall, some expansion to the interior concierge area, that's the VIP area, and also some renovation work at Cruise Terminal 10 was deferred as well. What we're standing in front of right here is an 11,000 square foot expanded arrivals hall for Disney Cruise Line's Terminal 8. We have built the new to match the existing vernacular. You can see the twisted rope trim across the top. The tall rotunda in the background is part of the existing structure from 1998, along with the functioning clock. And we're surrounded by this grand new plaza with landscaping, planter bed, new palm trees, areas for guests to gather prior to entering the terminal. New carpeted floors, charging stations for modern devices. Existing ticket counters used to come all the way to this end. We cut the existing ticket counters back to make more room for seating. And we've spent to date probably $165,000 renovating the floor. That existing terrazzo floor that was put down in 1998. A lot of time and effort's gone into polishing it, repairing it, cracks, repairing inlays. We're on the pier out here at Cruise Terminal 8, and part of this expansion project includes marine work renovation as well. I want to point out a couple of different things out here on the dock. One is the location of the new passenger boarding bridge. So if you pan around, over by that white truck, you'll see the foundation, and also above it, you'll see the building penetration where that new passenger boarding bridge is going to hook up. It will come over from Adelte in Barcelona, Spain later this year, early December, nearly fully assembled. They'll set it in place, do the final connection, do the commissioning late this year, early next year. Both the gangways will be able to operate at the same time. Then ultimately that existing gangway will be demolished. You're joining me at the front entrance to our new Cruise Terminal number 3. Despite some ongoing paint repair, we're repairing a multi-layer intumescent paint system that's going to cover the steel structure of the new gantry area. Once complete, later in the month of November, you will see the final finished product of Cruise Terminal number 3. I want to point out a couple of other features for you right now. One is our multi-story parking garage that's capable of nearly 1,800 parking spaces. It's connected to the terminal entrance by an elevated passenger walkway that has a canopy over it to protect our guests from the elements. I'm going to take you on a bit of a virtual tour right now. I'm going to start with this area behind me. This is intended to have airport-style kiosks. They call them incomplete kiosks. It's where guests and passengers will be able to come in, finalize any check-in and boarding documentation before they pass through security. Then we're going to take a look at the main security area, and you note how expansive it is. There's plenty of room for social distancing plans. Passengers will queue up. They will stage in front of our security screening machines before they go into the general boarding area. A few details that I want to point out about the particular finishes that we have in this terminal are the lighting. So we're going to look at our ceiling. The ceiling is coated with a special deep blue Carnival blue fall paint, and it is lit by cloud and halo LED lights, which adds a very nice modern feel to the terminal. We have this centralized LED marquee that will display welcoming messages from the cruise line for the guests, and it surrounds this beautiful tile inlay of the Carnival logo and a north arrow. So as you look at the Carnival logo, this is actually laser cut tile that's been pieced in here and placed, including all of the various letters and stars. It's a very intricate tile work. We are flanked here by a series of photo booths. And you see the photo booths have that ornate metal structure above them. There will be a series of backdrops provided at each photo booth by Carnival of various scenes from their private islands or shipboard. So families will pass through security. They'll be able to come into this area, take their photos before going into general seating. You're joining me now in the general boarding area. We have about 1,200 seats to accommodate our guests. As you look around, you'll see the high-end finishes that have been incorporated, many of them selected by Carnival Cruise Line staff, complete with the palm trees, the bench-style seating. Again, you see the halo lights above. Several seating areas with side tables. Would you follow me into the VIP area? Again, I want to point out the contribution from local artisans and craft people. April Slater is a local artist that was responsible for hand painting this aluminum wagon wheel structure above you. It might look like wood grain, and in fact, it is very, very difficult to tell the difference, but that is an aluminum clad structure, sits over the VIP area. There are smaller versions of it throughout general boarding, and April and her crew worked many nights to hand paint that wood grain finish, and I think you'll agree with me, it looks fantastic. In addition to April's work, another local sub was Rockledge Design Services, RDS. RDS was responsible for a lot of the ornate metal features that you see. The blue plexiglass areas here were cut by RDS. Again, it is a very well-appointed VIP area complete with media screens, bench-style seating, pub-style chairs, coffee maker, a small food and coffee bar, and even the tile that's around that central area there matches the tile on the new Mardi Gras vessel in the cabins. Following our brief stay in the VIP area, once the vessel has been cleaned and ready for guests to board, the VIP guests will proceed through this set of double doors. They'll go down this long hallway before they board the mobile passenger boarding bridge that ultimately leads to the vessel. General boarding guests will come out of this set of double doors in front of us at the right time, and again, go down this long hallway before getting to the mobile passenger boarding bridge. I want to point out a few features about the marine works here at the project. The area that you see before you used to be over water, now it's been backfilled. We have a berth that is 1,300 feet long, complete with bollards and fenders, water stations. You see the runways for the mobile passenger boarding bridge wheel path. The combination of the multiple sets of sliding doors along this hallway, in addition to the Adelte bridges, gives us really an infinite number of shell doors, vessel door heights that we'll be able to service at this terminal. Another key feature I want to point out is that the parking lot we're standing on is built on top of concrete stormwater retention vaults. The port paid a premium of about $3.8 million for that stormwater system that allows us to maintain the recreational boat parking for Freddie Patrick Boat Ramp. And that's very important for the Port Authority. All in all, it's been a wonderful project. It's a labor of love for many of us. I can say that we are very enthusiastic about the arrival of the Mardi Gras, Carnival's new XL class vessel that's going to come mid-January. And beyond that, we are very enthusiastic about the return of passenger cruising to Port Canaveral Cruise Terminal 3.